Hey, it's Kesha. We are doing our daily reading. Yeah. Um, so look, I wanted to use my Astral Realms deck. This is the new one that I just got. This is an Oracle deck. And one of the things that I like about it is the style of the art. But I realized that I also have another deck, the Terra Soleil, the Stardust Tarot, I think. I don't know. I don't know what the real name, the full name of it is, but it's this. This is the guidebook, and let's see if it has a name. Terra Soleil. Yeah, I'm going to call it the Stardust Tarot Guide. It has a similar, so let me pull out a card from the Astral Realms, just at random. This isn't part of the reading, just to show artwork. And this is the Stardust Tarot, the Terra Soleil. So you see how like similar style they are. I have this beautiful idea that, of course, you know, I would sit and do a reading with the tarot deck and the cards, and they would be similar, or they would be in the same vibe. And then I realized that the reason that I don't use the Terra Soleil deck so often is because the images for the cards are hard for me to read. And it could be because I don't spend enough time with the deck. That's certainly possible. But sometimes, do you ever get a deck where sometimes the artist loses the plot, where they're making beautiful, beautiful images, but they don't necessarily correspond to the energy of that particular card, or their interpretation is so artistic in it that the meaning of the tarot gets lost. And then what I don't want to do is default to the meanings of the cards traditional to the Rider-Waite deck. Because I think each artist that creates a tarot deck has something to say about those interpretations, and they do that through their art and chosen images and the way they design their deck. And I'm not saying that she's lost the plot on these, but some of the cards are just like the images don't make sense in terms of what the card is. And when that's the case, then of course I have to go to the handy dandy book. But the book isn't necessarily, I mean, it is what it is. So I guess that'll have to be enough. So we're going to go ahead and do the 3-card reading. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is because if I were just doing the reading by itself and not recording it, none of this would matter. You would never see the process behind the scenes. I'm telling you all this because when I flip the cards and start to read them, if it looks like I'm struggling, now you understand why, right? It's not just that I'm a little irritated today and need more ice. And all right, look, speaking about me being a little irritated, let me just take a tangent and just share this with you. A while back, I bought a bottle of $2 Chuck, which I don't mind buying because I have a purple plate, and any alcohol that you put on it, especially wine, tastes better after having sat on the plate for a little bit. So I see that as a benefit, right? I can buy an inexpensive bottle of wine, but its flavor and taste will be improved because I let it sit on the purple plate. So I bought the $2 Chuck. Didn't realize that since the last time I bought it, which was a long time ago because I don't really drink, so I don't buy wine that often, they had gone from a cork to a screw cap. Now, I'm not so much of an audiophile and wine snob that I look down on a screw cap. Like, whatever. I mean, if that's the way you want to package your wine, that's fine. I don't care. But today I realized that actually, no, I do. Because normally I drink water, tea, tisane, or, you know, some sort of juice that I've made. Maybe coconut water, seltzer water. That's pretty much it. And I'm out of all of those. Like, I was making a pot of tea, but that wasn't going to be ready. I'm out of seltzer. I don't want to use my coconut water since I'm drinking that with my spirulina. And the juice that I have is a carrot juice, and I wasn't going to drink that. So I was like, oh, I got this bottle of wine. I'll just have some wine with my lunch. And the reason I think I grabbed the bottle of wine like that was so much like care, like without any care or any thought, was because it had a screw cap, and I didn't perceive it as wine. Whereas if it had had a cork, I might have had a little more reverence for it and thought, you know what, I'm not going to have wine with lunch in this case because that's a little more and a little more elevated and extra than I really need at this moment. But because it had the screw cap, it didn't feel particularly special, and so I wouldn't have that. So I think that might have a little bit to do with my mood. Anyway, forgetting all of that, let me just shuffle these cards and talk to y'all about a 3-card reading that is a card for the collective. See, and I'll come back to this, like, we'll talk about these images and these cards. And this isn't meant to be a critique of the deck. It's just, I love it, and I thought it was beautiful. This is why I wanted to buy it, and I spent big money on it. This is an expensive deck. But when it comes to actually doing readings, I would never use these as a deck for a client. Absolutely not. And I barely use them for myself because I don't feel like it gives me concrete information. Like, there's a little too much room for interpretation. And if I'm reading for myself, then I need an answer. I don't need flight of fancy. But, you know, for cards for the collective, we can have a little fun. We can experiment with a few different decks and just see what it gives us. So I'm looking down at the cards now. And see, these images are beautiful. And you're going to see them up in the top here like I always have. But, I mean, I'll show them to you on screen, right? Image, absolutely beautiful. And this Knight of Pentacles, you kidding me? And the sun, like, the cards are magnificent. But put this together in a reading and make it make sense. 3 of Swords. Okay, so she's shrouded. And that would seem to indicate some loss and heartbreak. But the radiance and the focal points here suggest breakthrough, right? And if we look at or think about the 3 of Swords from the Rider-Waite, yeah, we've got the card, or yes, we've got, you know, the 3 swords going through the heart, but there are also the clouds in the background, you know, that indicate a washing away of the pain, and that, you know, and we know that after the sun or after the rain, we'll have the sun and the sun will shine again. So I can see those images or that interpretation in a card, but I would have to go to the book just to make sure, because her interpretations are a little bit different than what we might assume. And again, I don't want to just transpose the meaning from the Rider-Waite onto another deck, because I don't think that's appropriate. Yeah, so this just takes a minute. Give me a minute. Three of Swords, she says, absence, betrayal, heartache. Okay, so that is taken from the Rider-Waite. Upright 3 of Swords is an upright position, signifies the journey of heartbreak and loneliness. It can indicate that you are suffering through a difficult relationship or familial loss. You may have been or will soon be betrayed by someone you love. But really, is that indicated here? Like, how am I supposed to get that from this card? Because again, that gold and, you know, the moon above her head, that says follow your intuition, that, you know, this too shall pass. All right, so we'll take that. This too shall pass. Knight of Pentacles, that was the second card. All right, so if I'm just looking at the card, we've got an image of the Nautilus, hand of Fatima of sorts with the eye in the hand, and then an archway and a you know, obvious gateway into a portal of something beautiful and blissful and sparkling and wonderful, right? All of those things can be true, but what does the book say? Because the image itself does not tell me anything about that. Patient, practical, ambitious. Knight of Pentacles is a card that represents the voice of reason and common sense. It symbolizes an individual who is hardworking and ambitious. The individual, typically a father figure, may have difficulty expressing how they truly feel. So if I'm looking at this and reading by the interpretation of the card, I would say that all things are in divine order and in proportion to their moment, and keep focused on your work and the things that are at hand. This deck is hard for me. And then lastly, we have the sun, right? Which, if I'm looking at this image, I'll do it in the camera. Let's see here. All right, so Triumph, we're standing over all, we're at the pinnacle of everything, and everything is revolving around us. So it's like, okay, it's all good. It's all going to work out for us. We're at the top of our game. 10-19. The sun, marriage, success, harmony. Now look, where in this card do you see marriage, success, and harmony? I mean, success, all right, I'll buy that. Harmony, okay. But marriage, I'm supposed to see marriage in this image? How the hell? Upright, a card filled to the brim with shimmering positive energy. The upright sun card evokes radiance and the essence of success. Sure, absolutely. But that is the message of the sun, not the message of the card. This card indicates that that the temporary evils you have experienced will soon pass. Sure, because unto everything there is a time and season. So again, we go back to the beginning. This too shall pass. The moment of, and I think, okay, so now that I've talked us through all of that, and this is what would happen all behind the scenes, and I would have figured this out, and you'd have gotten, you know, a 4 or 5 sentence post. The pain and heartbreak of the past are eclipsed by focusing on the divine spark within us and using our intuition to help focus on the, using our intuition to focus on the divine spark within us. This too shall pass. Everything is in divine order and appropriate for its time. Let your eye be single and stay focused on the work at hand. And if you do, then you will become triumphant in having attained the success that you were seeking. So, yeah, I mean, I can live with that reading, but no way in hell was I going to get all of that from just looking at the cards. And that's the gripe I have with this deck. Not even the gripe, it's just the reticence I have with this deck when I go to decide which one I'm going to use today, and why I don't tend to use that one very often, because it's a lot of work, and I have to, it feels like I have to go to other sources to decipher the meaning of the art. Whereas the point of tarot is that the images are archetypal and paint us the picture of what's happening. These images I can only decipher through the words that she's giving. It's just a lot. I don't know. All right, so do you want an oracle card reading then with this seemingly, seeming companion deck? And I wonder what this style of art is called, because I do like it. I just, I do like it. I'll leave it at that. All right, so we had a couple cards pop out. And I have shuffled these. It's a new deck, yes, but I have shuffled them quite a bit. So the fact that we get cards 2 and 3 is not an indication that I haven't shuffled enough. It's just the way that they came out. So card 2 and 3, we have lapis lazuli and flower agate. So consciousness and expression. Consciousness and expression. Yeah. Again, let thine eye be single. Consciousness is our point of awareness at any given time. So that artwork at least makes sense. And flower agate, in terms of expression, we are all many different flowers at different points of our growth cycle. So we can be expressing ourselves differently. Ideally, at our highest, most expressive level of consciousness, we are a fully bloomed flower. And if we're not that yet, that's certainly what we are aspiring to, else you wouldn't be looking at a reading for tarot and oracle cards. So that, my loves, is what I have for you today. Sorry if it's a little chaotic. But you know what? We're different people every day. And so this is the Kesha you get today. I say love it. I love you too. Bye.